Hi, this is Paul. I'm coming back with TTM episode number 71. I have 5 returns, and I'm just going to get something off my chest, and I think nobody's going to be surprised what I'm going to talk about. Okay. First of all, the New York Mets, in 64 seasons, they started in 62, this is their 64th season. The New York Mets have nothing but break the hearts and disappoint fans for multiple generations. And I'm sure my Met brethren, um, TTM Mike and this guy and Chris Carbs in Oregon feel the same way. I've probably been a Met fan longer. I don't know. I don't know how long everybody's been a Met fan, but I've been a Met fan since I'm about 10 years old. Since I started to understand baseball. So it's about 55 years. Um, what's going on? I have 4 words to describe the New York Mets. Quote, the epitome of hopelessness, end quote. Okay. And a lot of this has already been said. Right now, I'm recording this about 3 hours before game time on Saturday, the middle game of the series against Miami. And if you go back to 2007 and 2008, the Mets went into a series with Miami. Those 2 times it was at Shea Stadium, and in 08 it was the closing of Shea Stadium. They went in with a 3-game series against the Marlins, and essentially they needed to take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins to get into the postseason. In 07, they lost the Friday game, they won the Saturday game, and then the Sunday game, they gave a beatdown to future Hall of Famer Tom Glavine, who that was his last year of his 5-year contract with the Mets. Went back to Atlanta, but he was pretty much done. And then in 08, they brought in Johan Santana to kind of take Glavine's place. And again, the same scenario. And during that season, they fired Willie Randolph. They made Willie Randolph get on a flight to Anaheim just to fire him. But again, the same scenario. They needed to win 2 out of 3 from Miami, or back then they were called the Florida Marlins. They lost the Friday game. Johan Santana on that Saturday pitched a terrific game. I mean, an unbelievable game. And then Sunday they lost the closing of Shea Stadium. So now it's kind of the same scenario. I mean, they needed to come into Miami to at least take 2 out of 3. They lost last night after having a 2-0 lead, and that was all they scored. They had Sandy Alcantara. They had their hands around his neck, and they didn't squeeze him. They got the 2 runs. He settled down. He ended up pitching 7 or 8 innings. He pitched into the 7th or 8th inning, and that was it. And then Cincinnati won last night. They beat Milwaukee. So right now, on Saturday afternoon, they are out of the race for the time being because Cincinnati has a tiebreaker. Essentially, the Mets can win 1 game out of these last 2 with 2 Cincinnati losses to get in. They can win both games and have Cincinnati lose 1 to get in. Regardless, they have to finish at least 1 game ahead of Cincinnati to get in because Cincinnati has a tiebreaker. And all I could say is that if that flight tomorrow goes north to LaGuardia and not west to LA, Monday is not going to be a fun time in Citi Field. I believe that Cohen has had enough. He shakes his money tree, puts on the best team money can buy, and and he's going to clean house. I'm sorry, from David Stearns right down to the team dietitian, they're all going because this team had a 45-24 record on the 12th of June. From the 13th of June on, they've been 37-54. They've been the 4th worst team in baseball, and they are listen to this, and I'm sure Met fans have right now they're 82-78. Okay, the consolation to clinch the winning season, big deal, but they are 0 for 78 when trailing after 8 innings. All 78 of their losses, they never would. The best they would do would come back and tie. So the Mets can look back at games that they've blown, and that's going to be the difference if they don't get in. And right now, I think the store managers at Stop and Shop in Queens should be taking some inventory of eggs and tomatoes, putting it in the humidity, let them get nice and rotten, and let fans greet the Mets at LaGuardia Sunday night if they don't get in with tomatoes and rotten eggs. That's all I got to say. So that's the end of it. If anybody disagrees with me, I know I shouldn't be negative about my team, but what's there to be positive about? So, all right, let's get on to returns. And I'm not going to talk about anything but the returns, and I'm going to make this real quick. We got a 2-2 in 28 days from John Trees. He signed a 91 Pacific and a 97 Pro line. The next one is a 5-5 in 14 days from Haywood Jeffries. He signed a 91 Fleer. He signed a 91 Pacific. He signed a 90 Tops ×2. And then he signed a 94 Upper Deck Collector's Choice. You got to love those old Houston Oilers uniforms. Next one is a 1-2 in 32 days from former Cincinnati with Dwayne Walker on the 83 Tops. I had sent 2 of them. I told him to keep one. I probably did, so that's fine. The next one is a 3-3 from Rod Bernstein. Shout out to Brandon Stebbins. Rod Bernstein signed a 92 AAA card. That's what it's called, AAA Sports. Then he signed a 92 Skybox. And then he signed a 90 Tops. And then the last one is a 2-2 from Tom Goodwin. I didn't put down the amount of days. Oh, well. He signed a 97 Score. I sent this to the Truist Park. And then he signed a 98 Tops Chrome. So, other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. And one last thing, no matter if the Mets get in or not, I don't want to see any champagne celebrations with the goggles on. It's not warranted. They don't deserve it. And all I can say is that the third wild card does nothing but reward mediocrity. I think when MLB expands to 32 teams and goes to 18 divisions, they'll do away with the wild card. Just have the division winners face each other. Let every tier of the playoffs be 4 out of 7 games. Manfred will get his revenue from the TV, and that's it. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to everybody later.